Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister. I'm back with another in my series on how to build an epic FireRock outdoor fireplace with Waterwall water feature. Now, at this point, my microphone's still working, the battery hasn't died, but I have run out of wine, so it's time for some proper 12 Irish whiskey, tribute to Conor McGregor. Most really good stonework has been done by Italians in the history of America. And then I lied when I said I'd never laid a stone, but when I was 15 years old, I worked for some Italians in Boston on the North Shore in the Salem, Massachusetts area for a summer. And I guess decades passed and I forgot how horrible that was, working for those guys, because they were all huge, monstrous guys, and I was the littlest, tiniest, skinniest guy, and I was probably not cut out for doing this kind of work. But decades later, here I am back at it. So cheers to those guys, and cheers to Conor McGregor. And cheers to my project, which now carries on. It's great tradition. Let me get my remote control. Here we go. So, as you can see, we have achieved greatness. We have wood burning in our fire. We have 2 completed wood boxes. We have our firebox, full structure. All of the structures are capped with stone. And let's see what happens here. I don't even know. I'm just narrating here at this point. Craziness goes on. Okay, now, in my constant quest to overbuild my structure, there is a product that you can buy that comes with a fiberglass mesh type, resin isn't the right word, but just fiberglass substance in concrete mortar, which you add to your wall structures. And it's actually called, it's for dry stack concrete block walls. So there is a mortar you can apply to the exterior of a wall, where if you literally just put the blocks with nothing on them at all, no mortar, nothing, you just stack them up, you come back over with this stuff and you rub it on the wall, and it will make that wall as structurally as sound as if you had applied mortar to every joint and gone to that trouble to make it as such. So I will supply you with the name of that product in the comments below at a later date if you're interested in that product. Earlier I had mentioned the Atlantic company had my reverse spillway. So that was about $375 for that piece, that one single piece. But that is a 24-inch reverse spillway, and I had cut these holes in the wall. Early on, I screwed myself because when I poured concrete cores down to structurally enhance this wall, of course, those cores passed right through where I needed to cut into this wall. It was a nightmare to pound away and clear a pathway so that I could get this box into the wall. So again, I wish I could tell you how to figure out everything in advance. It's not likely to happen. So I had the reverse spillway, and then we wanted just 2 trickling waterfalls here just for pure sound. So by now, my friends are hanging out with me smoking cigars. This is what starts happening. So everyone starts to enjoy. These are the holes for the 2 just basically water spouts, if you will, that just pour out into the water well below. Okay, so we got some candles going, obviously, so we're starting to get some sense of the ambiance. Let's see where this progresses. Look, we got nice fire photos. There's people in the hot tub. Ruckus. All right, now, so I pre-plumbed the wall on a couple of occasions. You know, I worked with a company called The Pond Guy. The Pond Guy, good company, good people, pretty good advice. So they recommended Pump X to me. I wanted to be able to remote control it, control the pressure, speed it up, slow it down. There's some nice pumps from a company called AquaSurge. They have the AquaSurge Pro. Now, they started out recommending the AquaSurge Pro 4,000 to 8,000 gallons per hour. That thing was insane. I couldn't possibly turn it down enough to even control this thing. It just shot water everywhere, blew the, without gluing the pipes, it just blew them apart. It was just too much pressure. So they voluntarily replaced it with the AquaSurge Pro 2000 to 4000. And at this point, that's what I have. But even that's too much. But they don't have a remote controlled pump lower than 2,000 gallons per, is it minute or hour? 2,000 gallons per hour. And but I run it on one, and then I have control valves on the back of my assembly to where I manage the flow through each of my features, and it makes it so that I get just the effect I want. Now, what I was after, which you'll see later, is I wanted the reverse spillway to spill backwards onto the wall, but I wanted really jaggedy, thick, rugged stone so that there was lots of places for water to trickle off, a million points for water to pour off and make a rain sound. So this took some effort to get to that point. Actually, here's a moment. Let's see. We figured this out early.
Here's our test of our fountain.
So Tammy told me to finish the fireplace, finish the fireplace, finish the fireplace. She's all about the water features. So as soon as the water feature, she heard water, she was like, oh, now you got to work on the water feature. You got to work on the water feature. But we had to stick to the plan. So here was first attempt at plumbing based on the recommendations Pond Guy gave me. Truthfully, this was all wrong. None of it worked. I had to tear it all out. But they were really nice people. They kept working. I give them great credit for struggling along to make this project work properly. The truth is, you don't want, didn't need any of this. It just needs to be the dead minimal, what you might imagine. And any of your control valves, bring your control valves down to arm level so you can walk right behind and hit everything. Lots of unions so you can take things apart and work on them as need be. So there's our water wall. There's the stucco as it dried. You can learn all about stucco on YouTube. There's various things that are called floats. They have dry floats, green floats, blue floats. There's different floats that are made of different foams that as you drag them on concrete, create different finishes and different surfaces. Just find the one that works for you. Basically, I'm going to give you what you need to know, and you're not going to want to hear this. Go into Home Depot, look at the masonry wall, buy every fucking thing that's on the wall when you start this project. Just buy everything you can see. Because when it's over, you will use every one of those products, I promise you. You're going to go, well, today I only need this one. I'm going to save some money. So I got this thing. Tomorrow you're going to go in there and go, well, today I need this thing. Just go in there and buy this stuff because you're wasting time. Because you're going to end up using every single thing they sell. I promise you. All of them. All right. So here we are back on our project. Let's see what we're looking at. So remember when I was talking earlier about how odd the FireRock Fireplace pieces fit together? So here's a good example. You can see this is just a totally jacked up, screwed up piece sticking out. Like it has no place or rhyme or reason. The FireRock stuff is it is what people buy. It is what's for sale. I think it's crap. I mean, to be honest, there's not a better brand. You're not going to find a better company or a better product, but this is just stupid. I don't even know why it's there. So you have to work around all this junk, stick it out for no reason. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now my plan for these studs protruding from the wall, the way I did this, so I wanted these to appear embedded in the wall. They are not. So what I did was, there is some super high strength construction adhesive that is sold, and it's called Silkaflex. This is the company, I believe. If you question me, I'll try and put a link or a product name in the comments below. But it's Silkaflex. That stuff is wicked, and it is the bomb. You need to use it. So what I did was drill a hole into the FireRock fireplace, and then I took a piece of 5/8 inch rebar, and so I bored it like a 3/4 hole or a 1/2 inch hole. I'll have to look, and then just bigger than the rebar, filled it full of the Silkaflex. Put the rebar into it. The rebar sits up. It's like stone. You can pound on it with a sledgehammer. You're not going to move it. Then I drilled a hole in the back of the 4x4 that I found from 1880, and then I glued it onto the stud that I left protruding. So it makes it appear that I've got the 4x4 embedded in the stone, or that it's part of the structure. And the stones aren't even there yet. So we'll see how that comes to the end. How that looks. There's my capstone. Again, this is all done by hand with a hammer. This is just pounding on the stone and practicing. Obviously, you're not going to practice on your finished stones. The pieces you cut off. So say you buy a 36 by 24 inch stone, and you need 24 by 24, you're going to cut 12 inches off. Take this piece of crap over on the side. That's what you're going to pound on. You're going to practice chipping with the with the tail of the hammer. You're going to practice chipping the stone. It takes aim, control. You got to hit it firmly. Bing! Right? If you go dink, 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 you're not going to get anything. Little pieces of shit are going to fall off. It's not going to even work, right? It's just crap. You got to learn to hit it with control. Bang! And you're going to get a nice chip that goes pop, and it'll just pop out. Pop, 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 pop. And it gives us, look how this looks like this was quarried by, old men with this hand tools. You don't want something that looks like it's been sawed like a freaking log out of a, you don't want that. It's terrible. All right, now, here's a look through I wish I could remember the name of it. It's like fiberglass mat. This is mortar all over the wall. But it's mortar lined with fiberglass fibers all over the wall that strengthens the wall. And that's the look through the hole. This is where my reverse spillway is going to go. All right. Now you're looking at what's called scratch coat. So scratch coat. So this is what you will do on your project, but when you hire the guy with the illegal aliens that comes into your backyard and does it, where he's making shit tons of money of your money and you not doing it properly, they're not doing any of this. So they're going to take stones and they're just going to pick them up with mortar and go and stick them right onto bare cinder blocks. This step takes time and effort, but this is what's proper. It's called a scratch coat. So you're going to take mortar and you mix it. You're going to lay mortar up on your wall, and while it's wet, you're going to come back with a tool. It looks like a trowel. It's got teeth cut in it. And you're going to take the teeth and you drag it on the wall. And you drag it in a very, very nice, smooth, precision manner, right? So you clean, drag, right? What this is going to do, then you go away and all of this cures and it becomes hard. Now, all of those grooves that you've just cut into mortar on top. So this mortar makes a, chemical bond to the cinder blocks, and then those grooves allow you to come back with the next layer of mortar on the back of just a stone and go and jam it on there, and it will stick, and it will cure, and it will hold hard. What you're going to get with, Company X, who brings guys they don't hire next week into your backyard, they're just going to go onto this, and then 2 years from now they're going to go and they're going to fall off in your backyard, and you're going to have a pile of shit in your backyard, right? Because they don't do things right. So they're charging you $50,000 and they're not doing it properly. So not only are you paying way too much, but they're not going to do the work right, and they don't budget this proper work in. They budget the guy getting a brand new dually and getting, 34-inch wheels and, whatever he needs so that he feels like he's a man when he pulls up to your house in his giant truck, so he can scare your children and impress the neighbors of how cool he is. So you don't need that guy. You need somebody who's going to do the job right. All right, and that is probably going to be you. All right, so we're going to keep putting scratch code up. This is what scratch code looks like. It's actually just a square trowel with these little fingers cut, and you go, and you're going to cut those grooves. You're going to cut those grooves. All right, so this is what your shin looks like when you try and hop up onto your stones you've cut, and you actually cut so deep in your shin you hit your bone. So there's a cut all the way down to your bone. This is called cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate was used in the Vietnam War to close wounds in soldiers that were shot up and needed to get to surgery. So you put some cyanoacrylate on your wound and glue your wound shut. This is what 23,500 pounds of stone looks like. Now, for the record, this is the flagstone and fieldstone that we're going to do our patio and our fireplace with. So this is a good place to stop, and we're going to talk about where we move into stonework from there. So I'm Max. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel below, and I'll keep this content coming.